am Deborah Walker, and on Food for Thought today, I'm with Dr Octavio Rettig, author of The Toad of Dawn, who's a GP and a surgeon practising professionally at a care centre in Mexico. He's written a book that narrates his path of being addicted to drugs to becoming a medicine man using ancient plants dedicated to the treatment of addictions. Welcome, Octavio. How are you today?
Hi, Dev. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm pretty well.
Good. Now, it's a fascinating read, your book, I have to say, The Toad of Dawn. What an incredible journey that you've had. Do you just want to outline some of that journey for my audience who won't have read it yet, I imagine?
Yeah, the story of my life has been full with different challenges. And I had the blessing and also the luck to survive and to reinvent myself with the help of these powerful intelligence. So yeah, now I'm a full-time dedicated to share this with the world. And I am a researcher for the Active Reserve of United Nations of Venezuela, and since a couple of years ago, they add my research to their project with Amazonian medicines as yopo and ayahuasca, and now we are doing this international tour, sharing this ancient knowledge with the people. Really happy to do it.
And basically, you are considered an authority on psychointegrative substances because of your own depth of addiction, aren't you? Because ultimately, you've only gone through that path because to find the Otak toad because of your own level of addiction.
Absolutely. The addiction to substances is just a symptom of a deeper emptiness. And I was born as an addict. I actually think that we all humans are different levels of addicts. Depends on your education, the society, and the teachings that you raise on your life, the ones that will lead you to do different choices. So at the beginning was just toys and sugar and food. And then that turns into TV, video games, and then going shopping. And one day I was smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol. And then I started struggling with my behavior and my autodestructive patterns. So I was a young teenager when I had the first time the cannabis, and it really helped me to take another direction. Besides all the stigma and the fear that exists, still existing in the world, now there is more opening with the plant medicines. But 20 years ago in Mexico, everyone who was smoking marijuana was related with jail, with I think that daily life activity and the change in all your habits will be the answer for those questions. So after I started smoking cannabis, then I thought that all the different substances and drugs were the same. because all were put in this box and put a lock on it and say that all this was dangerous and bad. So I started trying solvents and cocaine and the different drugs that were on the streets at that time. And then I realized that prescription drugs were also even more dangerous than some of the illegal drugs. So I took one afternoon with one of my friends and cousin, 7 clonazepam pills. Then I last asleep for like 2.5 days, and when I woke up, I was turned into an imbecile. I couldn't speak 2 or 3 words in a row with coherency, and I was just miserable. And all my relationship with my family was shift into the drug addict lifestyle. So I decided that day that I wanted to become a physician. So when I finished my high school at the age of 17, I applied for the exam to med school in Guadalajara University, and I get in. And the change of my environment changed some of my actions, but I was still unable to handle my impulses. So drinking and cocaine was part of my life. And on the last year of the med school, I met a doctor, and he told me that I was a sick man, that was really sad, that I was about to finish my career, and I was just a drug addict. So he suggested to me to do peyote and mushrooms. And he introduced me with Dr. Jerry, a friend of the med school, who is also an author of a book that it will come soon, also with Divine Arts. So he had experiences with sacred mushrooms in Oaxaca, Mexico, and also in the Huirrárica desert in San Luis Potosí with the peyote. And we made the plans to go there and have the first encounter for me with this medicine. But then he flew to India, and on the way back he stopped in London. And in a smoke shop, he brought to Mexico different kinds of psychoactive plants. Among them was Salvia divinorum. And Salvia divinorum was the first really sacred entheogen that I tried in my life, and I was 22 years old. And it changed completely the perspective and the way that I was conceiving reality and my world, and was an introduction with this realm of sacred plants and animal materials. So after the second journey with the salvia, I started reading Albert Hoffman's and Richard Evans Schultz's book, Plants of Gods. And then I realized that were more than 130 different plants, all of them psychoactive, but only a few of them were really related with the most specific molecules that we have in our brains, and all of them are connected with the neurotransmitters and the function of the human organism. But not only with the human organism, also with the mammals, and they are present in many different plants. So for me, after having all the formation in pharmacology and physiology and pathology, was easier to understand the relationship between these sacred molecules and the life that we have inside of us. So I started trying the mushrooms, LSD, MDMA. I went to eat the peyote, and then I started smoking crack. and in a few months, all my life was gone. I get hooked into the crack addiction really fast, and I couldn't stop. I lose more than 30 kilos, like 50 pounds or something. And I was really skinny, and I was just a crackhead. Another number on the statistics of people who are hard drugs consumers. And it was no any way out. I tried everything, and I was trapped. So 2.5 years after that I start my consumption of free base cocaine, the toad came to my life from the hands of the same person who gave me the salvia, the mushrooms, the peyote, and also the crack. So it was like completing a process and a circle. No one showed me how to work with the toad medicine. The people who show Dr. Jerry how to use it, they told him to have 35 doses for 1 gram of toad medicine. And that's just for having a little recreational, trippy experience of mandalas and connection with energy. But for having the deep healing that I needed, I took large amounts of medicine. And it took me around 18 months to get rid out of all my consumption. Then maybe another year for my body to recover the weight, but it was shorter, the time that I use for healing than the time that I use for getting sick. And with the time, the minutes became hours, and then days, and then months, and from today, I've been 8 years out of the crack addiction. I'm still using sacred plants, and after I recover completely, socially, mentally, psychology, and spiritually, I start working as a general practitioner in Hermosillo, the capital city of Sonora State. After a few years working there full time, I was fat. I had everything normal, and I was in the routine of being into the parameter of society. And then this spider bit me at the middle of the night when I was collecting more medicine. Then my right leg started to become inflamed, and then start to turn black. I knew that this spider was poisonous and that everything was upon my immune system. I took the toad medicine out of the drawer and had a dose that night. And the next morning, my leg was healed. I had no any pain, and all the inflammation was gone, and the normal color was back. And the people who saw that shift in my condition, they were really interested in knowing about what I did. So that's how I start using the medicine again, but not as a drug user and not with drug addicts. And after a couple of dozens of sessions with different illnesses for people, I went with authorities of health system in Sonora State to see if the things that I was doing was dangerous for putting in risk my license. So the principal director made the suggestion to me to start making a compilation
all those testimonials and recording some of the experiences. And he asked me for more info about this subject. So I went back to internet, did a research, and then I bought Martin Ball, the Intergenic Evolution book, and also Tryptamine Palace of James Horrocks. And then, wow, some other guys were talking about the same substance with different purposes, but for all of us was something that it changed our lives. But I knew that my personal story had something else to add to this field, because my personal issues with substances and how this medicine freed me from them. So I started to write my own book, and I met some guys from Sonora who just had the ayahuasca in Peru, and after their experience with the toad, we just make a click. They understood the importance of this medicine and the power of this medicine, and they were working with some of the tribes of Sonoran Desert, making some art for them. So we agreed to go and visit the community, and 4 days before our first journey there, one of the sons of the shaman of the community knocked on the door of one of these guys asking for help because his consumption of crystal meth. Crystal meth has become a real problem in Mexico because on the past the drugs need the cartels used to bring the drugs from South America and produce and grow some cannabis and amapola from on Mexico. But now with the crack, it's all the cities are flooded with this poison, and the people is just really sick. And the Seri community is not the exception. They are really close to the border with the United States, and the mafia use the community as a corridor to get the drugs to the States. So a lot of people in the Seri town were really sick with the crystal meth. So after I gave a few sessions to this guy, he invited me to the community, and I share the medicine like with 10 different members of the community with different conditions. And the Council of Elders of the community sent an invitation to me to go and live with them. So I spent around 5 months living among the Seris and using the toad medicine to treat crystal meth addiction. And after the leaders of the community saw the changes and the transformation on their own people, they start to take also the medicine. And this beautiful a beautiful fusion between their tradition of healing with chanting and the medicine on their natural landscape took me out from the consultation room and put me in front of nature. And I've seen the difference between doing this laying down or doing this standing up with your eyes open in front of the sun or the moon or the stars, but also with these sounds and melodies that help people to connect with another kind of frequency and creates an atmosphere really different than the one that you can have with electronic music on your speakers. And for me was what I needed to understand better how to work with this medicine, and also to learn more about the medicine and to start digging in a new way to work with entheogens beyond the psychedelic experience, beyond the altering of your senses with any kind of substance. I realize that this is directly connected and related with the evolving of our species. That's one of my hypotheses of my book, that when humans change their diet and we turn into cook meals eaters, and we stop eating just raw, we also start smoking things, and we start to burn everything around us inside of the caves. And at some point, one of these pre-humans discover that this toad contains also the 5-MeO-DMT that we already knew from plant materials, and the usage of these plant medicines as yopo and ayahuasca, it's so old that in archaeological sites as Tiahuanaco in Bolivia, we have the paraphernalia to the sacred and ritual ingestion of yopo or an Andantera peregrina tree that are dated 4,500 years before Christ. So the usage of these molecules is nothing new for humans, but we lost the memory because the history that we are carrying on our backs, and all the knowledge of the toad was lost completely in all Mexico and in the entire world. But we still have in the mythology and the presence of the toad effigies in many different archaeological sites all over Mexico, and their relationship with the divine state and with the spirituality. And on my compilation of images, and after talking with archaeologists, with anthropologists, and doing a research on the myths and legends and all the information that it's still available, I can see the relationship directly between the 5-MeO-DMT, the toad medicine, and the feather serpent, or Quetzalcoatl, that was the main symbol of the spirituality in all Mesoamerica for more than 3,000 years, and that suddenly was lost and forgotten and also forbidden. So this work with the toad medicine and the series has been a way to find the reculturization and to put in a good context the usage of this medicine beyond the recreational use of psychedelics that we have in our culture. And I think that the traditions of like ayahuasca, yopo, iboga are the perfect examples of how these medicines are connected with the most sacred part of ourselves. That is the way that we explain our own existence. All the things that lead us to feel, to think, to have the imagination, to have all these advanced mental processes that are connected with these the neurotransmitters. And the series, after taking the medicine, they start opening their hearts to myself. And one of the legends that it's remarkable for this Bufo work is that they say that these golden beings were the ones who showed them to show to their ancestors how to live the life, how to be civilized, and how to get all the supernatural powers and the connection with the spirits. And at some point, these golden beings disappeared, and no one knows where they came from or where they went. They just vanish on the time. And when I asked to the elders if there was a possibility that these golden beings were the gel of medicine, of the toad secretion, they say that there is a huge possibility because their ancestors had all the knowledge from someone that was not human. And because of the same story all over Mesoamerica with the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Olmecs, about Quetzalcoatl or the golden teacher, I think that the only possible candidate for that will be the Buffalo-Berry's toad. And it might exist many other species like this one on the past, and they might get extincted with the time, with the climatic changes and everything. But I can see the presence of the toad also in the Chinese mythology, and how the presence of the dragons can be also related with the feather serpent or Quetzalcoatl, and how now the scientists agree that before 13,000 years ago, something happened on the earth, and this global civilization that we can see on the buildings and the pyramids that exist all over the world were at some point connected in some kind of global shamanic culture. And I can see now in 21st century, with all the scientific advances and all the technological advances, how we humans still being lost from the source and from the infinite love. And all these ideas about being connected with the universe and all the teachings of religions and the teachers are just trying to make everyone feels something that it's already there. But for me, in my life, the only way to achieve this wisdom was through my personal experience. After feeling in my heart that I was co-creating my reality at all the time with the universe, and that I was the only one with the power to change my actions. But before of that, I had the will, and I had the clear mind, but not the clear heart. And also, I was sick and intoxicated I was poisoned with all the chemical substances that I've used in all my life. So after 10 years of working with this medicine and walking in 28 countries around the world and sharing these medicines with thousands of people, I was blessed the last year with the yopo, that is one of the sacred medicines of the earth. When I shared the toad medicine with the Piaroa community of Venezuela, and the grandfather Bolivar had the toad, we create some beautiful connection between the two medicines and between the two tribes and between Sonoran Desert and the Amazonian rainforest. And they gave me the blessing, but also the responsibility to walk with the yopo and to share the yopo. And from the last year to now, I'm studying the yopo, and I'm studying also the combination with the cambo for cleansing the body, and also the toad medicine. And I've seen that all the different plants, the ayahuasca, the mushrooms, the peyote, can play together. And all of them just activate a region of ourselves. And it doesn't matter if you have 300 experiences with ayahuasca, the toad medicine is something completely different. And also the iboga, and also the rest of the plants. So in my vision, I think that creating places where all the different plants can be put on the service of people, and all the teachings and all the teachers and all the lessons can be learned and listened and understood by everyone. I don't see these as hospitals. I see these as schools of ancient traditions, of art and purification, because all the medicine is ultimately connected with the creativity and the expression of the art that we have in our heart. And I think that we all are seekers, and I think that we all are on the way to be again back home, in the place where all we feel safe, in the place where we all feel connected with Source, and in a world where everyone can act on the same frequency as our desires and our ego. Because everyone wants to be free, everyone wants to be accepted, and to be a part of something greater than the self. And in my life, the only door to cross that and walk that path is nature. All the biggest teachings and the greatest teachings that I have in my life, I receive them from nature, not from men's. Even all the education that I receive from my family, my school, my social network, my religion, everything was just a way to manipulate me, to control me, and to make me fit in something that it's old-fashioned, that it's out of context. Because we have this beautiful opportunity and this challenge to change not only our lives, but also the past, and to create a better future for everyone. And the only way to do this is respecting our environment. That's why creating the culture of respect for all the ancient traditions, all the medicine plants, and all the regions of the world where these plants grow, and like the toad, having a protected environment for them to still alive. I'm completely against all the people who try to get these toads or to keep these toads in captivity, because I've seen over the years the impact that humans are having on the desert, and there is only one area of the world where these toads can survive freely, and they don't need anyone to help them to build a house. They just need to be protected. So with my book and the film and the documentary and all the videos that are on YouTube is just my only goal is to make people understand the importance of these medicines, and to try to create the culture to protect them. And I'm really happy to be able to walk my life as I'm doing it, completely open, completely free, but mainly happy and healthy. And that's something that I think that everyone deserves. So yeah, that's a bit of the story of my life.
Do you think now that people are so disconnected from what's around them because we've moved so far away from nature in Western society? So we've become really ill now. We've got incredible war after war after war, barbarism like, I would have only considered we would have had hundreds of years ago. We've got addictions, as you're talking about, to depths that are scary, and are saddening. Do you think it's because we've moved so far away from nature? Because those things that you're talking about would have naturally been around us and would have been used in the cultures, and all of our cultures would have had something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the only way to remember our own nature is sharing our life with nature, because the disconnection on the cities, on the classrooms, on the media is just to make easy to control the masses. And we saw in the 60s what happened after the LSD movement, how the government went into panic, and after 40 years of prohibitionism, we still having a broken world. And the only way to make the peace with ourselves is with education, and to stop this kind of protectionism, this kind of paternalism that exists in our systems of society. I really believe that places like Holland, places like Spain, places like Portugal, that are having a better relationship with the freedom, that right that everyone have to know in their soul what's better for them. And all the black market, all the mafia is product of these laws. So the only way to free all those people that are in jail because they get addicted to some substance, and then they start to sell the substance in order to have their own supply, all that is the product of the madness that we are creating with the disconnection of nature. We can see that one of the main causes of death in the United States is the pharma industry. All those medicines that the doctors are prescribing to people and that they are not healing. They are just making things worse because they are for symptoms instead that for healing. And yeah, the medicine had beautiful advances, the technology, the surgeries, but we still having an empty heart and a distorted mind.
Well, can you just come in there, because I think you use a really interesting quote from Albert Hofmann in the actual book, which is about the Mazatec shaman who actually, when they go back with the molecule that they've actually synthesized, it's called the holy children fabricated by the white man, but then actually, the shaman says, while the effects were similar, the holy mushrooms are superior in their magic as they contain the spirit of the plant. And ultimately, I believe that that's what medicine and that's what Western society is actually missing. It's the spirit, that nature and connectivity, and ourselves on a more conscious level is completely and utterly missing.
Absolutely. The spirit never come in a box.
No.
And we can't think that it's the same quality of molecules, the ones that nature provides to us and that we have inside of our systems, and those replications of humans. It's like having the original product and they having the pirate products.
Yeah.
It's just poor way to try to imitate something that it's already perfect, that it's already there. So yeah, I agree with the people who think that mushrooms can save the planet, not only the psychoactive mushrooms, but all those medicinal and the source of nutrients and the food. I really believe that creating botanical gardens, I really believe that creating the context of respect for the ancient traditions, it's one of the choices that we can take to create a better world. And I trust the universe, I trust nature, and also I want to trust humankind. And that's why I'm doing my best every day to still being a happy man, but also to help other people to do the same by themselves, because no one is healing anyone else. It's a self-healing process with the medicine. I don't believe in healers or shamans. I believe that it's really important that the person who is conducting and sharing that knowledge really have that experience on on their own, because now I'm seeing all this boom of new facilitators and practitioners and shamans, and hey, I didn't start doing this from one day to another. It took me 10 years of my life only with the toad medicine, plus the rest of the years that I tried the rest of the things to be free of myself. And I'm helping people to do the same process, but I'm not doing it for everyone, by everyone. I need to make clear that if someone wants something, they need to work to get it. And it's really important to be responsible for our condition and our shape. You can't wait for a medicine, or even worse, for a guy to fix you. You need to change your diet, you need to do exercise, you need to have low levels of stress, you need to do your work. And the medicine will help you to see something that you will still need to do on your will every day. It's not like a magic formula, but it is a formula that it's effective and works. I've seen that, and I'm still seeing the miracles of this medicine in people's life. I've seen different kind of transformations, and everyone is open, everyone is ready, but everyone was born ready. It's just that for some people they need to do some work first. I really highly recommend to go and do the Cambo cleansing with the green frog from Amazonas, that it's specifically goes to clean your body. It's not psychoactive at all. This just helps you to purge and to detox and to clean all your glands. It's amazing. And also I recommend fasting. I also recommend detox with food. And I think that if we want better quality of life, it's an integral process, and it needs to be understood as that. A series of actions that lead us to somewhere. But there is no such thing as I will still drinking, eating junk food, and then I will go and drink ayahuasca once a month, and then I'm safe. It's not like that. Not with ayahuasca, not with the toad, not with anything else. People need to do the work. But without the medicines, by now I will be dead. I'm 100% sure of that.
Is it the key way to reach our true potential?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Dr. Octavio, this has been a really, really interesting interview with you about the Otak toad. Thank you very much for sharing your knowledge.
Thank you,
and your
Deborah.
And how do people get hold of you, and how do people find the book, and how do people get onto your workshops and retreats?
Okay, for the book, it's on Divine Arts Media and Amazon. Stay tuned for the upcoming documentary, Otak, the Sacred Ancient Medicine Ceremony, that Leo Bondani is finishing in Los Angeles. It will be out, I think, early 2017. And the next month, the first episode of the series called Shamans of the Global Village that John Niles and Rakrasam filmed in Tiburon Island the last year, it's almost out. And I think that will make the message clearer and easier for people to understand. And I am on Facebook on Octavio Rettig Hino-josa, my full name. That's my public page. And I do have Otak, El Sapo del Desierto de Sonora, Sonora Desert Toad in Spanish. And we also have the page of the project of the indigenous medicine, Amazonian and Mesoamerican tours on Facebook. And I'm available also if someone wants to contact me on my email is dr.otac@hotmail.com.
Now, Octavio, would you like to give that information out in Spanish, because we do have listeners over in Spain and Mexico, so if you want to give that out again in your own language, then please do at the end now.
Okay, bueno, para todos estoy a su alcance en las páginas OTAC, el Sapo del Desierto de Sonora, de Facebook, o en la página Octavio Rettig Hino-josa, mi apellido es R-E-T-T y latina G, Hino-josa con H al principio, J y S, Octavio Rettig Hino-josa, ahí estoy a sus órdenes por Facebook, y la página también de Ancient Indigenous Medicine Tours, o tours de medicina amazónica y mesoamericana, también en Facebook, con el licenciado Andrés Martínez Bolaños, Andrés Martínez 2 y Juan Bautista Contreras. Ahí estamos a sus órdenes en Facebook también. Okay,
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Great to speak to you, Octavio.
Thank you. Hope to meet you someday,
yes,
and can't wait to share the medicine, because that will be the only way to understand this.
Yes, I absolutely agree, and I think you will be seeing us one day. Definitely.
Okay, big hug, Deborah. Have a nice day, and thank you very much for this space.
You're very welcome. Take care. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.